RFK Jr., he was the perfect example you need to recognize the monopoly that the RNC and DNC got on y'all. They gonna try to bankrupt you through bullshit legal proceedings, not giving you security, not letting you collect as much as the RNC or DNC. And if none of that matters because you a Kennedy, hey, you got the bread. Yeah, they won't even let you on the debate stage. You ain't even going up there. And they gotta do this. They gotta protect the two-party system because it's their source of revenue. Let me explain. This all started with the 14th Amendment, but that's a video for another day. I'm gonna tell you about how they finalized this, made it legal. They legalized the corruption. It all started with a court case in 1976. Buckley versus Vallejo. When the Supreme Court, they ruled the First Amendment denies government the power to determine that spending to promote someone's political views is wasteful, excessive, or unwise. The court therefore ruled that the limits on overall expenditures were unconstitutional. Which, if you're confused about that, expenditures is super PACs. That's what they is. So, they can't tell how much the super PACs can give to anyone. That's what that Supreme Court say. In 2010, they bolstered this. That was the last one. In 2010, Citizens United, the court held that the First Amendment prohibits Congress from fining, jailing citizens or association of citizens for simply engaging in political speech. The court further held that the rule that political speech cannot be limited based on a speaker's wealth is a necessary consequence of the premise that the First Amendment generally prohibits the suppression of speech based on the speaker's identity. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it don't say whether I'm rich or poor on my driver's license. When you call the police, they don't ask you, did he look rich, did he look poor? So, I'm not sure what the fuck the court is talking about there. But just so we all on the same page, they say you can spend as much money as you want to fund these politicians. And we can't tell you, the individual, how much money you spend or where you spend it. Okay. So if I got $1 billion, which I don't, to fund these politicians, why the hell would I give the red or blue team $1 billion? Why wouldn't I just give them each 500 million? I know you're gonna choose red or blue. This is the main reason why I believe this is a show. It's more of a corporate oligarchy than a democracy, to be honest. And you just need to recognize the consequences of your democracy. Both change candidates, blue and red, they promise the same shit. I'm gonna end the corruption. I'm gonna end the war. I'm gonna get rid of the debt.
The way Bush has done it over the last 8 years is to take out a credit card from the Bank of China in the name of our children, driving up our national debt from $5 trillion for the first 42 presidents. Number 43 added $4 trillion by his lonesome, so that we now have over $9 trillion of debt that we are going to have to pay back. $30,000 for every man, woman, and child. That's irresponsible. It's unpatriotic.
Our brave troops have now been fighting in the Middle East for almost 19 years. In Afghanistan and Iraq, nearly 7,000 American heroes have given their lives. More than 52,000 Americans have been badly wounded. We have spent more than $7 trillion in fighting wars in the Middle East. As a candidate for president, I loudly pledged a new approach. Great nations do not fight endless wars.
And none of them can do it. Why? It's because the corruption, it feeds the endless war, the endless entitlements, which feeds the endless debt. Why is that important? Well, because of Title 31, USC 3123, which states the faith of the United States government is pledged to pay in legal tender principal and interest on the obligations of the government issued under this chapter. So legally, they can take as much money from your paycheck to pay for the debt as they want. And this is why they don't give a shit how much a house costs, how much a car costs, the interest rates, inflation. They don't give a fuck. They just take your money. Give it to the people who own the debt. Now, who owns the debt? 50% of the debt is owned by domestic investors. It's over $20 trillion. Now, I sure as shit don't own none of that debt. Do you own any of that debt? No, of course you don't. Because you ain't got billions, not trillions. Trillions. You ain't got trillions to give. Because that's how much they need. It's 3 corporations that own all this debt. You don't believe me? It's one Google search you got to do. How many assets does blank have in custody? And in that blank, you're going to fill one of 3 names out. BlackRock, heard of them? Vanguard, or State Street. Now, at the time of this recording, I really do hope you do this Google search. You got to say have in custody, by the way, because if you say own or manage, no, they don't own it or manage it. No. It's in custody. That's a massive difference. At the time of this recording, Vanguard has 11 trillion with a T. 11 trillion. And they the smallest ones. BlackRock got 13 trillion in assets. You thought Apple was rich. Amazon. Nah, all these small fries. They're nothing compared to State Street. State Street's the most successful business in all of human history. They got 49 trillion. 49 trillion. They the ones that own that. They the ones that fund the super PACs. I hope you look it up, because I guarantee that number going up. From now until you watching this. They're the ones ultimately stripping the opportunity away from you, taking more and more out of your paycheck, debasing our currency, making everything so damn expensive. I'm going to leave you with a quote from James Madison, 4th President of the United States, the father of the United States Constitution. He said in Federalist Papers number 10, 1787, every shilling with which they overburden the inferior number is a shilling saved in their own pockets.